I loved science. You know, it's politically appropriate. Nobody argues with you, say you're going into medicine, but it was the science I really loved. And at the time, you know, I didn't know you could do science and not do medicine.
George Dover is, in many ways, a bigger than life kind of character. The thing that comes across whenever you're around George is this absolute, complete commitment to children.
I'm Mom, Brandy.
I'm George Dover.
Nice to meet you.
I work for almost everybody in this building.
Oh, wow.
Okay?
Okay.
Including you and her.
Okay, I was gonna ask.
Okay, yes.
Whenever I'm taking care of a child, I will always think, what would George Dover do? And he always ended every case conference asking Dr. Barton Child's question, why this child, why this disease, why now? And that again follows me whenever I'm taking care of a child in any situation. He would always be at the bedside, taking care of the family, and then he would always be striving to improve himself and to learn.
I think one of the things that nurses really value in George is his presence as a safety champion and his willingness to come to the units personally and round looking at safety issues. If for some reason, unexpectedly, his scheduled safety round doesn't happen on the unit, the nursing staff are asking when he'll return. They really value having a comfortable relationship with him and being able to go ahead and say whatever is on their minds.
There has to be a group of people who are committed to changing medicine, that it's just not enough to be a very good physician, in my mind. There has to be a subset of people who are committed to changing medicine, and that's what Hopkins allows you to do.
George was working with Ned Boyer and Kirby Smith and really making some very interesting discoveries and observations on the way hemoglobin is distributed in red blood cells. And George was the F-cell expert, not only in Johns Hopkins, but really around the world. And there was a lot of very interesting work being done about how, if one could increase the proportion of F cells, you could reduce the clinical severity of illnesses such as sickle cell disease.
I actually was inspired to work here because of Dr. Dover. With the stresses of college and just working in school and clinical, I wasn't myself anymore. I was having a lot more pain crises. I was missing class all the time. I just felt really bad. I'm starting to get teary, I'm sorry. I ended up coming here, was seen by both Dr. Dover and Dr. Casala, who's the head of hematology now. And with their recommendations, they decided to try me on hydroxyurea. It really changed my life. Like it gave me a quality of life that I didn't have and that I wouldn't have today if it wasn't for him. Say that he's one of the most important people of my life would be an understatement.
Pediatrics now is given the incredible opportunity of not only preventing disease in children and treating acute illnesses in children. Pediatrics now will inherit the ability to look at individuals and begin to see which ones are going to be at risk for these common adult diseases, long before the diseases become apparent.
One of the things that George insisted on was that we not design the building from just our perspective. He wanted family involvement. He wanted to hear what families had to say. And then he wanted to hear what children had to say too. So one of the formative things that we did for the design of the building was focus groups. Family-centered care really grew out of those focus groups.
Even before we started to go into design for that, which now goes back 10, 12 years ago, he went out across the country to at least a half a dozen major children's facilities, brought many of us along with him so that we could see what some of the best places in the country were doing. And we used that information to really help us to begin to design the children's center, which has turned out, as you know, to be a spectacular facility.
he really came with a mindset that we were going to leave CMSC behind. We were going to leave the old ways behind. We were going to look at everything fresh and different. And that's exactly what he and all of his clinicians and leaders have done here in the Children's Center. Everything's been geared to patients and families. Really quite a refreshing point of view.
I think what I brought to the leadership job was a focus on the faculty. I thought that this place had given me the opportunity to do things I didn't even know existed. I knew what it had done for me, and I decided that's what I wanted to do for the rest of the faculty.
I've learned a lot from him about what leadership is all about. I think first of all, he understands that the department won't be successful if the people in it aren't successful, and he works very hard to foster their careers and to mentor them or to find others who will.
University of Maryland, College Park.
Oh, wow.
Well, George Dover would be, as much as he is an individual, I would call him the company man, because he personifies the values that Hopkins has. He's a person of great character and integrity. He's a person that is always committed to excellence. He's a great leader, and by great leader I mean he's someone that knows when to intervene when there's a problem. His answer was always yes. It might be yes, but it was yes. Yes, we will figure out a way to make this work, because in the end, what we care most about at the Hopkins Children's Center are the children we're here to serve.
I think you got one more round after that.
Thank you for talking to me and sharing bingo with me.
I've had an incredible career. I was allowed to do science pretty much the way I wanted to, and being in the right place at the right time, I was able to really change a field of medicine.
Thank you, Dr. Dover, because my new heart I can dance. Thank you, Dr. Dover, because of you I can ride my scooter.
Thanks to you, Dr. Dover, I can play piano.
Thank you, Dr. Dover and Johns Hopkins. Because of you, I can create beautiful things.